Munchkins and viewers alike, it's me Munchie and welcome back to the bad Craigslist pet ads. So there's a few things that I do want to know before we jump right into this. If you're new watching this, I advocate for think adoption first, adopt don't shop, please do your research first before buying a pet, and decreasing abandonment and reasons to abandon an animal, because it's a lot of stress and effort to get a pet and then to just rehome it right away. I have some pretty strong opinions about a lot of people claiming to rehome due to certain things that they don't seem like legit reasons, and I have a big problem with it. And I know you guys really love what I say and my opinions on this, but some people were wanting me to clarify a little bit better, so I thought I would make this a bit clearer to you guys about what we are looking for when it comes to bad Craigslist ads. Technically bad, it could be used for any sort of description. It's pretty vague in terms, so let's just say bad as in sad, depressing, needs to improve, things like that. So if you get the impression of one of these ads doesn't seem as bad as the other, there's going to be me pointing out reasons why these ads are so frowned upon, and also there is some pretty scary ads that I want to show you guys in today's video. And today's video is dedicated to hamster Craigslist ads, just because I saw so many in a row that were so disturbing I had to mention them. So here are the things that we are going to be looking for when it comes to bad Craigslist ads. Number one, vague rehoming ads. This is poor wording and or phrasing and or not being descriptive enough for the animal's safety to find a good loving home. Usually when you see vague Craigslist ads, they are pretty short, they don't explain much. It seems like the animal is actually an item that they're just wishing to sell. Also, when it comes to vague posts, we are also looking at photos. If the photos don't look so good and or if there's not enough photos, that really shows what animal you're seeing. Second one, which is really important, a lot of this tends to happen when it comes to hamsters and small pocket pets, is the bad husbandry. Husbandry is the care and or breeding of crops and animals. So when I say good husbandry, or when anybody out there says good husbandry, that means the proper care of that specific animal and its species. So we are going to be looking at a lot of examples of bad husbandry. Bad cages, bad decisions, bad items, things like that. Also including in bad husbandry is the mix of species that should not be mixed or mingled together. And of course, number three is going to be excuses to rehome them. Pretty piss poor excuses in my opinion. So I might have a bit of an opinion here. Everybody's opinion is different, so don't worry about it. I'm not going to be putting names out there. I'm just going to be describing what usually sets me off. If it's a reason such as medical, you're moving out of state, which is very stressful for hamsters, mind you, if you move very long distances without settling down, without giving them a time to breathe, because they stress easy and they die easy from stress. So that is another thing to note, that not all people rehoming are bad people. People got that impression in the other videos, and I'm not trying to say people aren't necessarily bad. I just think that there are some reasons where you could include an animal, and there's other reasons that this is a good reason why you can't include your animal. But it's sad overall, especially when people are rehoming animals right after they got them. That's the problem I have with people. And poor rehoming fees. Now you don't really see a lot of poor rehoming fees, but sometimes you will see somebody list a really crappy cage that's all beaded and meh, and you will notice they have a really high price. And then when you add all the items together, usually people try to get their money's worth back and or try to rip you off. So we might see some of those ads. And if that makes any sense to you, then without further ado, let's look at some really bad Craigslist ads. And hopefully this video will encourage you guys out there to not shop and to think to adopt first. And please, if anybody's watching this, I hope that you can take something away from this. Just warning you, there might be some images that might be disturbing, so viewer discretion is advised. So here we go on my handy dandy laptop. So here's the first listing. It's Hamster. Just Hamster. I am looking to rehome my male Syrian hamster because I am going to college and don't have much time for him anymore. He's about 8 years old. And although he's a little bit shy at first, he will warm up to you. This hamster's not 8 years old. And by the pictures I'm showing you guys, this hamster is more around 8 months old, which I think maybe the person totally didn't understand what they were posting and said years instead of months. So I do believe it was just a typo. But something to note, this cage looks exceptionally bland and plain. It doesn't look like it is at all enriching, as well as the top layer, as you can see there, has no ladder. So the hamster will be climbing on the bars, trying to get up to it. And also there's just nothing at the top, and I do not see a water dish at all. No water dish, no water bottle. So I don't know what's going on here. The hamster is running on a 7-inch flying saucer. It's not too bad, but he does look like he is bigger than that. Also, if you guys are wondering what type of bedding that is, that could either be pine, aspen, or cedar. We just don't know. There's so many brands out there that have different size shavings, so you don't know exactly which one it is. So I can't make a judgment by saying, oh, that has to be pine, oh, that has to be cedar, because aspen is the safe wood. However, there is kiln dry pine and or cedar that people use, and people are claiming it's safe, but I'd rather be safe than sorry and not use anything but aspen. Next one comes from OfferUp, and it is female teddy bear hamster with supplies. Female teddy bear hamster, very small, friendly hamster, colors white and yellow. Supplies includes 2 bags of paper bedding, 1 bag of her favorite food, few hamster wheels, 1 medium-sized colorful cage. Cage includes upstairs, downstairs, 2 levels, includes feeding bowls, water bowls, igloos that she likes to sleep in, hamster wheel. So if you notice in the first picture, this poor hamster is on top in a very high area, it looks like, of a bookshelf. And the reason why I pulled this is because it does contain a bad cage. This is the 2-tier level cage, and I actually recently got one of these cages that I threw away out of the moldy 6 hamster rescue litter. I do have a video on that if anybody wants to check it out. This cage is small for a Syrian, and it stinks that people stuff them in such tiny little cages. But I did notice that I don't see an actual wheel in there. I see a bunch of hides, and it is kind of hard to see, but this lister does say that they will include a wheel. I just don't see it here, and that makes me suspicious, as in, I wonder if this person is so fed up with the noise the wheel makes that maybe they took the wheel out and put their hamster up high, like say on a bookshelf. But when you have a hamster that high on a bookshelf, it really makes it seem like they don't give 2 cares about their hamster. I mean, you want to interact with your hamster, right? This next one is another Syrian. It's gonna break your heart. It says Syrian bear hamster plus food, cage, ball, bedding, and many extra. My daughter is getting too busy with college to care for her little hamster friend. Second post out of this whole video where they're off to college and or don't have time for it because of college. I don't like hearing that. Hamsters can live up to 2 to 2.5 years. I really wish people would consider not getting a pet if they're gonna be going off to college in a year or 2 years. Please, guys, consider if you're out there currently going to college or in college to keep your pets and not to hand them off to, say, like your mom who's listing your hamster here. Yeah, that's one thing I don't like at all. She comes with everything needed: the cage, tons of food, bedding, balls so that she can roll around the house, tracks to put the ball on if you prefer, the hamster treats. If you had to buy all this stuff, just the food alone would be worth more than 40, so this is a real deal. So we got the Hearts food, which is not good for a hamster. This hamster food has lackluster nutrients and protein in it, so please guys, don't, if you have this food, consider getting a better brand, because this is very generic and it's very low grade. There is a bunch of bedding everywhere. If we look inside this hamster cage, it is a very big, fully grown Syrian hamster. The first photo has her teeth showing, and it kind of gives me a concerned look because you only see 1 chew toy in there, and it's a really tiny kebab-like chew toy that's just kind of tied to the end of the cage, and you see the whole thing is dirty on the inside. We have a very bad wired wheel that is not the correct size wheel, and it is unsafe for hamsters because they get what is known as bumblefoot. It causes inflammation to their feet, so it's a really bad wheel. Usually you only see gerbils running on metal wheels because they chew through plastic. And of course, this is the only thing this hamster sees besides an exercise ball. So it's just really bad care. And to think that you have a teenage daughter going off to college, becoming a young adult, they can't even provide it with the correct size enclosure and or care, and or they were just not informed about the correct care of this hamster. However, this hamster does seem like it is tamed, that they did spend time with it, but now they're not spending time with it, so you gotta go, apparently. So I feel very bad for this hamster. It breaks my heart when I see stuff like this, especially if you have to have your own mama listing your animal. That is terrible. Yeah, I'm just gonna make somebody else list my hamster. Yeah, thanks, Mom. You're a good mother, by the way, Mother. The next one is another cringe for husbandry. We have a male Roborowski hamster with supplies in a cage. I have a male Roborowski hamster. He's about 4 months old. Wow, it only took 4 months for you, maybe even less than that, to decide to have this hamster. I don't like it when I see people listing baby hamsters because that means they haven't had them for that long. It pains me. We can't keep him anymore. We don't know why, so we can't judge that. He comes with 3 water bottles, 2 food bowls, a ball, some treats, and a near full bag of food. And he comes with 2 cages. Now, the cage you see here does have, again, another wired wheel inside of it in proper care. It is the correct size, however, because he is a robo, but bad cage overall, doesn't look the greatest. If we take a closer look, you can see the robo at the very top. He does look a lot bigger than 4 months old, so I'm a little bit concerned, as well as, are you sure he's a he? That don't look like a he. It might be, but to me, when I see a robo look that big, it reminds me of a pregnant robo, but let's not get into that. Apparently they haven't had it for long, don't know where it came from, but if you look at the enclosure itself, that top part is so disgusting. I don't like it when people list disgusting stuff. It's like, hey, I want you to buy this, even though I haven't cleaned it out, just like my 6 hamster moldy rescue. That was not cleaned out. If there's mold and a bug, it's not clean. So it makes me really upset when you take photos like this to show the hamster. So if anybody ever inquires about a hamster with a cage like this and the cage comes with a hamster, ask them nicely, hey, could you please clean it out? And or if you just care about the hamster and its health, because it kind of doesn't seem like it's properly clean. But with these types of enclosures, people put off cleaning for a reason, because it's such a troublesome thing to get this cage off and back on and put together. So that could be why. And it looks like they have another KT Critter Trail cage right here. It's kind of like the similar PetSmart's Great Choice cage, but they have it that's not even built, but they took it out of the box just to show you that they have a second cage. Don't use it. Don't use it. It's the same thing. It's 120 square inches of floor space. It's terrible. No, 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 no. So that's bad husbandry right there. Next, I called this one being stuffed inside. Again, this ad just screams like, hey, the wheel, super noisy. Oh, I want to keep it away. So it looks like this is actually in somebody's shelf and or cabinet. Hamster with cage. Teddy bear hamster, male, comes with cage and tubes, food, and lots of bedding. $40 rehoming fee. See me right there, it does include stuff, however, it doesn't include everything. Yes, it's a male. How old is the male? Like, can you tell me more about its personality? It's just a vague listing, and I hate that. If you really care about your animal, if you need it rehomed for whatever circumstances, you should give a detailed description, list a bunch of stuff. They did list the essentials, but if you look at an ad like this, it does make it seem like you're just selling it rather than trying to rehome it, if you get what I mean. But if you take a look, it is a smaller size Syrian hamster, so we can tell that it's possibly very young, but it's just in such a lackluster cage. If you take a look at it, there's plenty of piled up food, and it's very wasteful too. If people don't understand, you don't need to be putting food in the enclosure every single day because they just don't eat it, and it actually gets stored and starts to mold. So you guys should definitely be careful. Don't feed your hamster every day, just feed it every other day or a couple of days, and make sure the food is actually getting eaten. Otherwise they just store it because it's natural instincts to store it, and then it gets all moldy and goes to waste. But you can see up in the top part, food up there in the wheel, food and bedding in there. So how is this hamster running on a wheel? Does he run with his bedding? I do know of a few hamsters that like to do that, but it's just, there's a lot in that wheel compartment. But the other thing to note is that they had to duct tape one of the hidey hole lookouts up there. That makes it seem like, hey, maybe this isn't suitable, but you tried fixing it. Next one's another offer up. This person, I just, bad husbandry right here. First off, boy and girl, just gonna say that. Why are you housing a male and a female? You don't stick two genders together, they're going to bang. Bang, bang, bang. Use normal wear. 2 hamsters come with food bag. 1 boy, 1 girl. Easy, take 30. Both. Lowest I'll take is 25. Wow, this person really does not value their hamsters at all. 1, bad husbandry. 2, you're listing 2 hamsters as if they were just like items. 3, you're housing 2 genders together which can bang and create more. Very irresponsible, super irresponsible. They should have been separated. It doesn't look like they're separated. It looks like they're in the same environment. And of course, if you look at one of the photos, that wheel section is so filthy on that ledge. Disgusting. Do you want to be walking in your own filth like that? Clean that up now. Sorry guys, I'm not yelling at you. I'm yelling at the lister. The lister, and some of these offer up listers, I'm telling you, their whole profile is so weird and sketchy and or childlike. It is insane. So good luck to these poor hamsters in California. Hamster needs a new home. Male Roborowski hamster looking for a new home with a small adoption fee of $15. Cage not included, but if you want one, then I have one for $25. The thing that I wanted to share with you guys is that yes, this is a bad husbandry because because you can see clearly right there that it is a KT critter trail, and none of the KTs except for the big critter home or super critter trail are appropriate size. And the critter home is made for bigger animals like guinea pigs, which it should not fit a guinea pig in there, a rabbit, which it shouldn't fit in there, but KT's gearing that specific cage towards those animals. But the super trail is supposed to be suitable for hamsters, gerbils, and mice. No gerbils, by the way, guys, no gerbils. They chew through plastic. Do not do that to that poor gerbil if you ever get one. At least the guy is listing for a small adoption fee. Good job to you and or girl, guy or girl. Simple, bad cage, bad husbandry. Robo hamster. Rehoming my 7-month-old robo hamster. It's been really hard to tame him. He is very shy. I'm asking 10. This is just assuming, but it's been really hard to tame him. Gee, I wonder why you're giving him up. Man, I tried taming this thing and it's not working out. Here you guys go. Whoever wants him $10, I'm gonna try again. That's what it feels like to me. Just assuming. We don't absolutely know this, but it's just, that poor robo. If you don't understand robos, then it's very hard to get them to bond with you and or to understand, especially if they come from a bad situation and or if they're constantly in fear and or stress. So this one, the only thing I'm gonna say here, because you can see it clearly in the photo, the only thing wrong with this ad is that they're using cotton balls. Cotton balls, since they're so fine, can get stuck in the cheek pouch and kind of unravel further down the stomach into the intestines, and it becomes a really big problem. They get blocked, they can die from this, and so cotton ball, cotton fluff, anything like that is not recommended. Just throw that out there. The moment of truth. This is the most upsetting ad you'll ever see for a while, and there's actually neglect in one of the photos, and you can see it because if anybody has seen hamsters fight before and or if they've ever seen just any sort of fighting and or aggression from their hamster, you will see it here. This is very sad, and it makes me mad. It makes me sad and mad at the same time. 2 male hamsters with all supplies. 2 small male Roborovsky hamsters. Stop. Look at that. 1 robo, 1 Russian dwarf. That is not 2 robos. Those are not 2 robos there. There's a reason we should keep reading. Both 6 months to a year old. Active mostly at night. They love seeds and mild cheddar. Come with everything pictured. Hundreds of dollars worth of habitat and supplies. Which is weird because if you look at the habitat, it looks like good husbandry. It really does. It looks like they invested a lot in here, and I am impressed because they actually got the silent runner, which is a $30 wheel. And they have all of these other tanks and ovos and accessories and things like that. Both in good health, get along great with each other most of the time. And here is the photo that will probably break the internet and or break your hearts. These 2 in this sand bath area, which is very impressive that this person actually has dedicated an area to a sand bath. The robo and the Russian dwarf hamster, look at their faces. They are fighting. They are absolutely fighting. I bet you when they took this photo for the ad, that's probably why they included, Jesus Christ, car. They probably took this photo and included it in the ad and then said get along great with each other most of the time. I understand that they're probably trying to list this to let people know, whoever takes these poor hamsters, that they're probably gonna fight, and that's normal. That is not normal. That is absolutely not normal, mixing 2 different species. You wanna know why the robos and the Russian dwarfs are 2 different species? They cannot produce babies together. That's what makes them different species. And seeing a fighting photo like that caught in motion, it is unacceptable. It's so disturbing. You invest so much time and money into owning these 2 hamsters and you cannot tell they're 2 different species? How? How? Your husbandry is amazing, by the way. I applaud you. How are you so blind to see that these 2 are not the same species? If they start fighting, this is bad. They can kill each other. They can kill each other. My hamster is a good example of hamster that killed each other. Sahara even. She was put in with an older female, which Syrians are solitary animals, by the way. I'm getting really mad, I know. But she killed her cage mates. And then the lady proceeded to yell at the store because she thought that it was us that got her into this. And then no, she lied. She definitely lied because she did not say she had another hamster in the cage where she was adding the other one to. So people think they can do these things. They see the hamsters, they can coexist together just fine. It's fine. It's in pet stores. They're fine. No, it's not. The reason why they're in pet stores and they're together is because they come in with their litter mates at very young juvie ages where they will begin to fight, begin to go in heat, begin to get aggressive towards each other, and then they will have to be separated. But because pet stores keep making sales of hamsters, they keep getting in young ones and young ones and young ones, and then if they stay there for too long, they would have to eventually be separated. And if they don't sell, then they get put in the back and wait there for a while, and then go up for adoption in certain places like Petco or PetSmart, and then the hamster just sits there. But at least it's in better care, and at least pet stores, at least I would like to say, at least some pet stores actually separate the hamsters when they are fighting, especially when Syrians go into heat. That is the worst time. If you smell their musk, you know that their cage mate is not going to tolerate it, and they're going to fight for territory because they're of the mature age. So I hope you guys understand my frustrations there. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. I know it was super cringeworthy and I was just so stressed by the end of it, but this is an important video to make because it shows you guys there's animals out there, especially hamsters, that need somebody. So please don't consider buying from a pet store, which you're supporting the company to keep producing more of these guys and forcing them out at young ages and causing a lot of concerns such as breeding from breeding mills, which do not regulate and or care about the genetics of the hamsters. They just care for profit, and instead get one that needs some attention and love and TLC, because these ones are not being provided that. And even though I showed you a ton of hamsters today, and some of you might be wondering, why couldn't you save them? Besides traveling too far away in a different state for some of these, I can only take as much as I can handle, and I'm also a foster home. I don't personally get these guys, but if you would like to help out in your area, please check on these ads, put them in Facebook rehoming groups, get them seen by people who need to see them in your area, and that's how you can help out. See, I cannot help out, and I know a lot of people would send me ads all the time saying, could you help out with this hamster, even though it's in another state and or it's kind of far away from where I live, even though it is in the state of Washington. I cannot save every hamster, so please do not put that burden on me. You guys can do your part by helping out your community of small pets in need. So please look further into that, and I'll list some foster information down below if anybody wants to reach out to their shelter and ask them if they have a foster program for small animals and or if they need anybody for small animals. So thank you guys so much. Hit a like to show your support. Comment down below with anything you like to say. I know it's so cringeworthy, but I hope you guys enjoyed the video, even though it just breaks your heart. And subscribe if you like to be a part of the Munchie family here and see more upcoming videos like this, bad cage reviews, reviews of other products, and my foster home and personal hamsters on this channel, as well as my other pets here. So thanks guys, and I'll see you around. Bye bye!